stop what you're doing because we're going to tell you the 10 commandments of sim racing. If you watch this video and do these 10 commandments, you will be a better sim racer. So we're going to start with force feedback. It is literally your connection with the car in sim racing. Sam, is it good to have force feedback if it's too light?
You know what, it is. It's not lighter force feedback isn't always better. You want sometimes a stronger wheel just so you can feel those micro movements as you're driving around.
And often you're feeling the slip, you're trying to feel what the car is doing underneath you.
Yes.
For example, understeer, and we're going to show you later on what understeer is actually like. But if you have too light force feedback, you just won't be able to feel the car. But right now, force feedback through the wheels is king. Don't go too light, but don't go too hard either. If you're straining, you're going to be putting yourself off from actually getting to the right.
You need to be relaxed as well to drive. So if it's a force feedback is so strong that you're actually having to hang on for dear life just while you're driving, that's too high. You don't want that.
And the second commandment is consistency is better than outright flashy speed. Sam, I'm sure you got some tales from your karting championships.
There's many times where I've not qualified pole for races and have gone on to win. Reason why is because I can do my lap time near enough to the 10th every single lap for 20 minutes straight. You don't always need to be that hot lapper. Being fast for one lap is cool, it's awesome, gets all the headlines. But to actually win a race, you need to be consistent and hit that time every lap.
How many times have we seen the guy who gets fastest lap not win the race?
Usually you win it or bin it, don't they?
Yeah, win it or bin it. And we know a lot of drivers like that. So if you're floundering in sim racing, I would say first start, have your braking marker for every corner. There's probably a lot of people watching this video, maybe you, and you know it really. You don't really know every braking marker for the circuit. You're kind of like winging it. And the third commandment is brake control is supreme. Brake control, the brakes aren't a button. Otherwise we would just map this to the brakes. The brakes are something that you are kind of very gradual in getting and gradual in getting off. Now, when you're racing at high level, that gradual still might be very quick, but it is a kind of gradual moment as you're feeling the car in and hitting that threshold. And that's really important for trail braking.
Yeah.
So trail braking is when you're coming off the brake, you're applying lock on the steering wheel. And that means you're getting some really nice slip angle a lot of the time. You're pointing the car around, you're using the tires in the right way. So you come in all 100% straight line on the brakes, using the tyre's grip to slow the car down. Then we need to get that rotation. You're using some of the tyres still for slowing the car down, some for rotating as well.
Yep, and controversially, you need to brake with your left foot, otherwise you'll be leaving time on the table.
Commandment number 4 is track knowledge. Now, we both race cars in real life and we both go to the circuit in the morning and we will walk around looking at the curves, looking at the camber, especially important in wet races. The same applies for sim racing. These tracks are laser scanned.
Yes.
Yes, you have to know your braking markers. That is the absolute foundation. But if you want to go to the next level, actually understanding the track, with them laser scanned, you can take this knowledge from track to track, understanding where the camber is especially. Yeah. It's really, really powerful.
And it's not just stuff like that. Everything which Kira said is absolutely correct, but then you've got to think ahead as well. Have I got a long straight following this corner? If I have, I really want to concentrate on the exit. Or if I've got a really short straight, let's sacrifice the exit because I don't need to go fast down the straight. Let's gain time on the entry. So it's really thinking ahead.
I'm going to say something really controversial now. And I know that a lot of you watching are going to be beginners. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Go to Sam's channel as well. If you're using the in-game track racing line, you are going to be leaving time on the table. It can be helpful at the beginning, 100%, to let you know, is it going to go left or right the circuit? But you really should be turning that off at some point if you want to watch the track.
For me personally, I don't use it, but for me personally, I think 5 laps max, just so you know the layout of the track. Otherwise, you will be losing massive amount of time.
Now, commandment number 5 is seat time. And this is interesting as well. We have real world racing experience. Racing in real life is expensive. Whether you're paying for it, you're lucky to have sponsors paying for it. In sim racing, you know, there's other competitions for time. You know, you've got to do things with your family or your mates or going to work, etc. But if you can dedicate more time to being in the seat racing, that is absolutely the best thing. And we both race at high levels in sim racing. And I can speak for myself. I know I've been quickest and I've been having a lot of seat time.
Yes.
And I'm going to say something that I don't think anyone else in my position would say, because I have a online masterclass, a coaching course for Gran Turismo 7, www.getfasteronline.com. That is no substitute for being in the seat. Now, if you just buy my course for £9 and you look at it and then you think that's going to make me faster, it won't make you faster. If you use that and then you sit in the seat and you practice, you think, right, this week I'm going to concentrate on my braking, then I'm going to the next lesson it will. Right, commandment number 6 is that simplicity beats just spending a load of time changing settings. You might know sim racers who are always in their profiles, tweaking profiles. We all know sim racers as well who can just jump into any rig and are just quick.
Yes.
So I feel like sometimes people change settings too much as kind of an excuse or a compensation. Yes, you want to understand the curves, but don't blame your curves. Don't blame your force feedback settings. Don't blame your pedal curves if you're slow. Like the very best drivers adapt around it, and that's how it works in real motorsport. Okay, the 7th commandment's an interesting one. You're gonna have to hear me out on this one. Racing is about prediction, not about reaction. So you might think the fastest racing drivers are just reacting really quickly, like you see them and they're kind of reacting. But actually that is often the culmination of lots and lots and lots of practice, where they practice scenarios before, where they practice these lines before, where they've tried different overtaking lines, and they know what's going to happen as well. So I'm going to move on to commandment number 8 for sim racing, and this is clean driving beats aggressive driving. The reason might not be obvious, but if you're an aggressive driver, you might be good at throwing it down the outside and kind of dive bombing and being able to stop it on the brakes. That's fantastic. And sometimes when you do a dive bomb, you rely on the driver on the outside or the inside to give you the space. And if you do it enough times, you're going to, just by the laws of averages, you're going to come into contact and people aren't getting the space, or people are going to misjudge it. Where sometimes the best drivers are those that are really, really, really clean. They apply the pressure and they actually force the other driver to make a mistake. Yeah,
forcing the other driver. There's nothing better when you're racing and to actually race someone, have a really clean race, got to the end of the race, you've both had a great time, and it's just generally a really good feeling. Think, yeah, I've achieved something here. And it's just so much better to be clean. People respect you more as well. Quite often in sim racing, you'll be in the same, like I might be in the same lobby as Kira more than one in one race, and then my next race I'm in the same lobby as him again.
This is going to come a little bit onto commandment number 9, which is that your driving identity is really important, and you need to know your driving identity, because we all have different driving identities. I have quite a smooth style, so when you watch me when I'm streaming or racing in the top level, you'll see that I'm not really soaring at the wheel that much. If you look at someone like Jarno Watmir, who's a much faster driver than me, he's a double F1 Esports World Champion, he is on the wheel like this, soaring away. Someone like Michi Hoyer as well, German esports driver. Don't understand what you categorise your style as.
I'm extremely smooth. I try to do the minimal about the steering, whereas Nicky is, like you were saying with Jarno, complete, chuck it in, let's go in. So I would consider myself as a smoother driver. Both styles do work. Like, don't get me wrong on that. Both styles do work.
But if you were to try and drive like Nicky,
I can't drive like Nicky, and Nicky can't drive like me. So you need to personally find one which will suit you. Like if you're watching people on YouTube and your driving style is smooth, there's no point you watching Kira here, who's sideways, fully locked up, entering corners backwards. Watch someone smoother like me. Or if you're the other way, you've got to make sure you're watching the right person.
The 10th commandment in sim racing, this is so important. If you've made it this far, put a number 10 in the comments. And this is going to be even more important, as we're going to see a lot of AI come into sim racing and AI coaching, and it's going to be an overload, and every sim is going to have an AI coach. Is focus on one thing at a time. If you go to a new circuit and you try and learn all your braking markers, all your throttle things, all the camber, all everything at once, it's not going to work unless you're very, very, very experienced. Focus on one thing at a time. I try and build laps actually. So if I go into a new circuit, I try and build the lap from the first corners. If I mess up 3 corners in, I'll kind of reset myself. I'll keep going around, but I'll kind of re-engage as I go into the first corner. I try and build it. And often what that means is I do end up putting a lot of pressure on the last corner, because I end up learning everything and then I want to really nail the last one. But that's kind of my style. And often I end up really good at the first sectors of race circuits.
Because you've done it hundreds of times.
I'm keep building it.
I'm essentially kind of like you, but I break it down more into sectors, so I'll have it like 3 sectors. So
I don't think anyone's ever made a video on sim racing like this before. So we really hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you have. There'll be some more videos around here that are also super helpful, and we'll see you next time.